reliable internet access points throughout the country. Today, with the extension of the Wi-Fi network in both University of Mauritius and UTM, we are indeed one step closer to our goal. My young friends, you have the privilege, as you well know, of living in a country where there is free access to education. All this started in the year 1976, when the father of the nation, Sir Sagar Rambulam, who, in his wisdom, gave free education to all students at secondary and tertiary level also. But as you all know, free education is a changing thing. In order to maintain truly free education, we need to be able to adapt to the changing world. The government has been very cautious of this. And in order to broaden this freedom, it has engaged itself to taking even further steps. Although we have free education in the country, yet at a certain point in time, same was not accessible to all our people because of the transport fares. And as a caring government, we took this also on board. And why? This is because it will help in our endeavor to make Mauritius what we call today that intelligent Mauritius. The access to free transport for all students was a means to provide access to education. By striving to provide educational institutions with the right infrastructure and equipment, government wanted to offer the best condition for education. But my friends, while we are taking these measures, we must also tell you that we are not blind and deaf to the fact that your needs change even as the world around you changes. We know that with every technological development, your educational needs also get modified. We know, for example, that internet access in educational zone has been insufficient for students to harness the real potential and benefits of the internet. We know that you need a better access, faster access, better resources. You know, the IT ministry has involved itself in a lot of activities these days. We've seen what we've done. IT in agriculture, IT in parliament, IT, we are preparing now the e-health project, IT in education. And when we say IT in education, because we know that if we want to succeed, this is the gateway to success. But today, and in the process of introducing IT in our education, no stone should be left unturned. And when you look even at primary level, a lot have been done insofar as IT is concerned. We have what we call the Sankari project, the interaction in classroom, where students of standard 1 to 6 have the opportunity to interact, to get them used to IT technology. And this has been very beneficial to our little friends of primary sector. In the secondary sector also, although we are providing capacity to all colleges to be online, yet we have seen that we have to increase that capacity. And this also government is taking care of, to increase the capacity of the bandwidth which goes to colleges and universities at the same time. We've said it in the last budget that we want to give a tablet to all students. Why? Because when you have all these equipments at school, you have still to continue that work, that homework at your place. And if you don't have a PC, it's most unfortunate. We don't want that this technology be reserved for a selected few only. And that's why we introduced one tablet to our students of Form 4. But I will also say, I will admit that, being given that it is the first year that we're going to give those tablets, of course, procedure, formalities have to be done in the manner that it should be, and it takes time. And we are pleased that some 1 or 2 weeks ago we have already launched tenders for tablets, and I've talked to my friend Dr. Benoiri about it. And if in the unlikely event that we can't give those tablets, those tablets do not reach Mauritius before the end of this term, still those students, they were supposed to get it, and we will give it to them. Even when they go to Form 5, we will make available those tablets to them, and it will be easier for those who will do Form 4 next year to make it as quick as possible. If you have done so with the Minister of Education, with my good friend, I cannot remain idle. So we have to do something for the Ministry of Tertiary Education as well. And that's why he will talk about that network that we have set up in the assembly between me and him. And like that, we've been able to do a lot of things for the good of the university. At tertiary level, we are providing free Wi-Fi facilities. This answers what we said during the electoral campaign in 2010. You will recollect, we said that we wanted to make Mauritius the best connected country in the world. We want to revolutionize the way we educate our children. We want to make internet a basic citizen's right. And so, of course, and you can see for yourself that all these are under implementation. No stone has been left unturned insofar as IT is concerned. And at the level of the Ministry of ICT, after assuring ourselves that we have free internet facilities at primary, secondary and tertiary levels, we introduce the PIAP policy. That is, giving, our post offices today are not places where it concerns only letters as it was before. Now, as it is, more than just letters. It has become a one-stop shop. And there also, we have introduced internet facilities. For those who do not have a PC, they can still go there. We have carpeted our whole island with computer clubs, where you can have free internet facilities to each and everyone, be it young, be it housewives, be it senior citizen. You get it for free there. In the year 2010, when we took office, the rate of internet penetration in the country was very low. It was nearly 20%. And when we introduced our national broadband policy, we set the target very high. We said that by 2016, we have to reach 60% internet penetration. We know why we want to make it that much high. And while introducing these measures since 2010, and according to Statistics Mauritius, the last report which came out in June 2010, June 2012, give internet in Mauritius, the penetration rate has reached 44%. When you compare it to Africa as a whole, that nation, where we say that growth rate is at 8%, they are at 12.5 to 13% internet penetration. That's why Mauritius ranks first in Africa. And we want to do more. So you can see the sincerity of this government. After having given you all those facilities, we still believe that if we are really sincere in what we say, making internet a basic citizen's right, we have to, after having addressed the issue of accessibility by giving you those facilities at post office, computer clubs, one tablet, we have to look at affordability, which at a certain point in time was very high. But you know, as in 2010, when the budget came, there has been a reduction in the tariff of internet by 20%. Because we want to see the implementation of our government program. In 2011, there was a reduction around 15 to 18%. Le cerise sur le gâteau. In 2012, there was a reduction in the tariff going up to nearly 44%. And today you have broadband internet at 200 rupees. That is around nearly 7 rupees daily. You know, this, when we look at what Millennium Development Goal says, insofar as this is concerned, according to Millennium Development Goal, each country has to see to it that by 2015, not this year, by 2015, cost of national broadband must be at a rate of at an average rather of 5% of the national income of a citizen. Do you know, in Mauritius, we are still in 2013, and by that revolutionary measure that we took, we are at 1.3. When you're having internet at 200 rupees monthly, roughly 7 rupees daily, we are at 1.3 in 2013, when Millennium Development Goal is saying that by 2015, each country must see to it that we are at 5%. So you can see at which speed we are getting. This is what we call broadband. And gentlemen, we recently implemented the Wi-Fi Mauritius project at the local authorities and road rigs. There was a pilot project where 5 municipalities and 4 district councils were equipped with Wi-Fi facilities. You know, in Réunion Island, Wi-Fi, you have to pay for it. But it's here in Mauritius, it is free. And that's what we're doing. The success from this project was one that my ministry immediately wanted to put to the benefits of students at the university also. My friend Jita talked to me about it. And when we came with that idea of setting up Wi-Fi zone, since day one, he insisted, and we talked, and we've been able to make it, giving free access Wi-Fi to UTM also. It was supposed to be University of Mauritius, and he insisted that we have it at the UTM also. Please, a round of applause for our friend. You know, now after having done it at the level of the University of Mauritius, at the UTM, at the district council and municipalities, we have set up what we call the Intelligent Mauritius program, which IMPP, because we don't want to look at Intelligent Mauritius only as a concept. We want you to feel that really we are that Intelligent Mauritius. And in that process we have roped in the private sector. And more than 13 companies have already answered favorably. And tomorrow, by the end of this year, you will see, when you will go to, let us say, Victoria Station Portries, you will have Wi-Fi facility. Vakwa bus station, you will have Wi-Fi facility. In the garden, anywhere, you will have it. You know, all this is what we call living in community. Our forefathers, when they came to Mauritius, after a hard day work in the field, they will land up under the veranda of a shop to chat with friends or have a drink. This is called living in community. And when we became of age, what we did was going to clubs, sports club in our locality, to play carom, domino, table tennis and all that, living in community. And now this is another way of living in community. By introducing those Wi-Fi zones, you will see les jeunes, moins jeunes, personnes âgées avec leur portable, avec leur laptop, ils sont là-bas pour faire des exercices, faire des travaux, pour améliorer la connaissance de leur savoir, du savoir, et tout ça, c'est vivre en communauté. Et comme vous avez pu constater, que nous voulons vraiment faire de l'île Maurice ce what we call a place où il fait bon vivre. You know, gentlemen, we know that access to the internet alone is not enough. And we are actively listening to the needs of your generation in terms of education and technology. But we are also confident that by bringing broadband internet access to all students and academic as well as non-academic staff of the universities, we will be one step closer to bridging the digital gap within at least the university community. Our objective is to give you the best, so that you be the best that you can be, so that you may in turn serve your country to the best of your ability. We are very conscious at the Ministry of the fact that one of the major positive impacts of the internet is substantially improving the quality of education at all levels. With this extended Wi-Fi network, students, academics, researchers, and users in general who are equipped with a laptop or a mobile device having wireless access features will be able to have access to broadband internet over the Wi-Fi link with the campus area. At the same time, my dear students, you know, according to a report which came out in 2011, 45% of jobs created in India came from the IT industry. I will humbly request you, it's time for IT sector today. It's for you to grasp those opportunities that we have. You want to have a job, you've been at school, colleges, university, get your friends and you yourself to take as much as you can in those IT subjects that you're having at the university, because we need you. Mauritius wants to go further. We have a lot of work to do, and I can tell you we lack IT professionals in this country. La balle est dans votre camp. Vous voulez réussir dans votre vie, il faut chercher un créneau où il y a des facilités. No, gentlemen, I'm not going to be too long. With these words, I wish all students here plenty of success in your studies, and hope that you will make good use of these free Wi-Fi network facilities. At the same time, I'm going to wish all our brothers and sisters of the Hindu community a happy Rakhi Bandhan. Thank you. Raksha Bandhan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tasarajan Pilechu-Ramblom, Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. And now I have the immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Rateshwar Jita, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Research, Science and Technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. My good friend, Mr. Tasarajan Pilechu-Ramblom, Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Chairperson of Board of Governors, Mr. Viramutu, and Past President, Dr. Reddy, board members, Mr. Fouquier, Director General, Mr. Chattardari, Acting Registrar, Mr. Venkatapide, very important person, President of Student Union, faculty members, distinguished guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Alors, I'm equally happy to be here alongside my good friend and colleague, Minister responsible of ICT, for this wireless fidelity launching ceremony at the University of Technology in Mauritius. As was mentioned this morning, we were at the University of Mauritius, and I do not make any difference between any of my public institutions. I think you all deserve to have all the facilities or support that we can afford for you. Since my good friend has been so kind in offering us free Wi-Fi here, I'm sure I can impress upon him to look into my other universities. There's Université de Mascarenhas, FDI, Open University, and we will continue the networking in Parliament because he happens to sit next to me. You see, when there's good connectivity, things work out quite well. Ms. Ami, can I ask, do we have some students in the ICT sector here? By show of hands. Or some faculty members? Can I ask you, young man, what is the capacity of my BlackBerry? It's the latest one, eh? How many bytes? How many kilobytes or how many gigabytes? Would you say? Capacity, I don't know. It's just the last latest. Huh? Come on? What's the space? What's the capacity? Would you say about 6 gigabytes? Comment? 32 comment? 32 gigabytes? Hello, I know it's about 6, at least what I use. Huh? But I want to share something with you. The reason I ask is that we all know that today, all your phones, all the smart people that are sitting here, with their smartphones, handle gigabytes of space, of memory. I must tell you this, in 1986, when I was doing my PhD, I was a proud owner in Manchester of an IBM PS2. Does anybody know about this? The Shahamgula? So you and I are very old. When I was doing my PhD, I had an IBM PS2, which was one of the smartest computers. I was feeling very happy because my boss was the head of department. So I used to get all the good. I had a grant of I think £150,000 then to do my research. And with that space, I had to build my own computer to drive motors at about, you wouldn't understand this, scientists, about 2,000 meters a minute. We were controlling motors and superheaters, etc., in the field of textile processing. Today, kids, my little boy is handling gigabytes. My next question to you, smart people that you are, and I do not have any doubt that you indeed are. What is my BlackBerry going to look like in 10 years' time? And your phones, iPhone or whatever you have, smartphones, what is it going to look like in 10 years' time? Definitely people will laugh at me when I show this in 10 years' time. Yes or no? Ça, je suis sûr. Alors, I want to thank my colleague, Minister Chedembram Pillay, because he's showing you the way to bring about the change that is happening. It is a fact that things are going to move at a speed that I can't even imagine today. When I was doing my PhD, I thought I had the best equipment in the world. For those who want to understand what an IBM PS2 is, please go read into history. That was only 1986. And just a few years before we had the BBC Micro. Shoham Ghulam is nodding, so you must be very old. BBC Micro, that was one of the first computers that we had in this world. And to make calculations, to do things, we had to write our own codes. Mais aujourd'hui, my BlackBerry here is connected to a satellite. And I don't even know how it works. It can take me anywhere I want, and I can do marvelous things with that. And yet I know in 10 years' time, we are going to be a long way from here. Alors, qu'est-ce que M. Pilet vient de faire ce matin à l'Université de Maurice et ici? Your president, Mr. Firamutu, was telling me now, our children, our kids, would be able to access all the databases, all the research journals, not from a library, mais en bas de pied, mang quelque part, dans campus. And I sincerely hope that you make the best use of all these facilities being put in front of you. I don't need to tell you about the importance of what's happening here today. Mais il faudrait comprendre quelque chose. The state is investing itself in you. Et maintenant, vous avez une responsabilité, mes amis. We should stop being passive consumers. How many of you have written one single line of code for any of these appliances? Mais j'espère que quand j'arrive dans quelques années, wherever I would be, when I'm old, or much older, I would see our young friends here bringing about this change that is happening. Parce que c'est possible. Pourquoi on vous dit ça? Mr. Pilet and myself, we are just implementing the vision of a great man that we have in this country, our Prime Minister. He had this vision that he wants to see a country which is modern. Et qu'est-ce qu'il a fait pour que ce soit moderne? C'était en 2005. He started the process of making sure that people are computer literate. And now we take it for granted. Le ministre vient vous dire que Internet penetration, aujourd'hui, c'est de l'ordre de 44% in Little Mauritius, where in one generation we came out from $200 GDP per capita, and today we have about 9,000. So I think that there's a lot of good things happening here, but you have to take the opportunities. We can only give you the tools, but we can't force you to drink the water. Vous connaissez cette histoire-là, non? Capable d'amener que le bassin là, mais pas capable d'aller pour où? Il a mis un robinet là devant vous aujourd'hui là. It's here in front of you. And now you are the future, my dear friends, and you have to make sure that you do the best with all the facilities that we are putting up for you to do well. Alors, before I end, there's something I need to say. Yesterday I was invited to speak on one of these radios, and there's a mother that called and said, Monsieur le ministre, vous pouvez dire nous avons des enfants à l'université, mais vous avez un peu de difficulté à payer parce que vos enfants peuvent faire part-time or whatever, and she has to pay the full fees. C'est environ 50 000 roupies, etc. I felt for her. I couldn't answer her. But I want to propose something to a group of students here. We are in the process of creating incubators in the ex-MBC campus. And I don't know by what means. I'll let President of the Board of Governors and Mr. Fouquier, yourself decide. I want to give chance to a group of students who could start in an incubator a small business. We all know that one of our strengths in this country is being bilingual. We all can speak English and French, n'est-ce pas? It is a truly bilingual country. How many of you have sold one page of translated material? When you could have been doing it in your spare time. I used to work as a barman when I was at university to get my phone cards to call my mother and my girlfriend. Parce que I had to work. I couldn't afford my father's money because we are from a very large family. Alors, we want to give you a chance to start making things for yourself. Il y a beaucoup d'opportunités, mes amis. Mais peut-être il faudrait un peu plus d'encadrement, and I'm willing, through my ministry, MRC, and I'm sure my colleague will give me technical assistance from the ICT sector, Mr. Chidemon Pire. But I want to see these smart fellows who will come and start these startups, which is made Silicon Valley what it is. Et vous connaissez l'histoire de M. Zuckerberg, l'histoire de Facebook? Quel était le problème de M. Zuckerberg? Does anybody know? Mais je tiens à pas le vacances, pas connaître comment parler. Le talent a tel fait là-bas, le talent a tel fait, they couldn't communicate between themselves. So what they did? Alors, they found a social network, And this is how we all started. And today Facebook is one of the biggest businesses. And who doesn't know about Facebook here? Le monde entier connaît. Il a environ 1 milliard de clients, n'est-ce pas? 1 milliard, monsieur? Nearly 1 billion. I'm not suggesting that we'll get a Mark Zuckerberg here tomorrow. But we have to start thinking about it. And how does things happen? C'est dans la pensée, mes amis. C'est pas computer la carence, moi. C'est moi carence computer. I have to talk to myself every day that I can do things. I should use my brain in a positive manner in this country. Souvent vous oubliez ça parce que l'esprit est occupé par des autres affaires qui peut-être pas assez positif. So this is my request to you, my humble request to you. We are very positive for this country. Moi, j'ai pas de doute que this country, by the way, things are working in all the sectors, ICT, tourism, textiles, education, etc., will be a marvelous country. Already it is. Just look at the infrastructure. We're spending not millions or billions of rupees. We're spending billions of dollars on infrastructure. We are building university campuses around the island. Mais qui va gérer tout cela? C'est pas moi avec le ministre Pidé là, hein? It's for you. So my request to you here is to take all these opportunities that are in front of you. And then only will we become this great ocean state that now is the vision of our Prime Minister. So with this, my dear friends, on behalf of everybody, I'd like to once again congratulate and thank Honorable Tasarajan Pillay and all his team for the great work and their support to our public universities. I'm definitely sure that our students, Mr. Minister, will make the best use of these ICT facilities, and I'm very happy that UTM has brought the President of Student Union, because I exist because of students. If there are no students, I don't have a job. So you are a very important stakeholder, and I hope that you will make the best of all the resources, Mr. President. Monsieur Fokir, je voudrais vous remercier, and I wish you well in life. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rajeshwar Jita, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Science and Technology. Now I call upon Mr. Mahendranath Chatudari, Acting Registrar, for the closure of the ceremony. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now convened to the entrance hall of the Central Administration Building, where the unveiling of the plate will take place. Afterwards, guests are invited for refreshments. You will be guided to the refreshment room. Thank you.